Hello, everyone. Welcome to Anointed Lady TV, the home of news and politics. If it is your first time in this channel, you are highly welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. And if you like what we do on this channel, hit on the subscribe button. Also put on the notification bell so you'll be notified by YouTube anytime we drop a new video. And if you are returning subscribers, thank you very much for always coming back to watch our videos. On this platform, we drop videos every day and we react to every video that come our way. And on this very video, I will be watching with you. And after watching, let's go to the comment section and drop our opinion constructively. Like our videos and also share our videos if possible. See you next time in my next video.
Well, I believe it is too early to be comparing two governments. Muhammadu Buhari spent a total of 8 years, and Tinubu has just spent maybe about 6 months, thereabout. So it would be unfair to compare the two. But all I can say is that the foundation has been quite shaky. And so this government will have to jazz itself up speedily, urgently, and responsibly. There have been too many issues in the last 6 months. The way I like to put it is that if a patient is rushed into an hospital under an emergency, the first thing the doctor, the nurses, the pharmacists, and everybody will try to do is to stabilize the patient. So Nigeria is yet to be stabilized. So they need to do something very urgent about that. But like I said, it is too early in the day to start judging people. You would have heard them complaining that they inherited a very terrible economy from the previous administration, which is their own party, APC, the ruling government. We said it clearly that I saw that derailment very early in the life of the Buhari administration. By July 2015, I was already writing memos, open memos in the newspapers to President Muhammadu Buhari that things were not going right. And he, on one occasion, invited me to Aso Rock to meet with him, and I repeated the same thing I had said in my article. And I promised him that I will appoint myself a special advisor who will criticize whatever he does and offer solutions. It is not enough for you to just criticize. You must provide solutions to those problems. And that is what I did throughout the life of that administration, which largely wasted and frittered away a lot of its goodwill in those 8 years. Now, APC is still the ruling party in Nigeria, and they are complaining and lamenting like Jeremiah of the Holy Bible. So my advice to them is that they must do everything possible. First, they must cut down on the wastage in government, because most of the people I see in government today are behaving like they are having Christmas party. You understand? While Rome is burning, some people are still behaving like, hey, we have all the money in the world. You cannot practice capitalism without capital. So the government must hold itself accountable. The head of the government must do everything humanly possible to call his people to order, because what I see is a giddiness, as if every day is Christmas, and they are carrying on as if governance is all about spending money, buying cars, buying this, buying that. If we don't cut down this bazaar, then Nigeria will get into a bigger trouble sooner than later. Well, I mean, on the issue of the subsidy, I believe subsidy removal, I believe it was hastily done, and that's one of the things that collapsed the economy. and this is my personal opinion, if I were the president of Nigeria on May 29th, 2023, I would have given good news and hope to the people of Nigeria first. What you must do in life is to, like I told you, if a patient is rushed to the hospital, the first thing the doctors and the nurses and the pharmacists and everybody around would do is to stabilize the patient. Nigeria was almost comatose by the time Buhari handed over to Tinubu, and what I would have expected was that they would try to stabilize and then also prepare the minds. If you are going to have a surgery, the first thing the doctor will do is to persuade you about why a surgery is needed. I mean, I've been in such a situation before when we had our last child in hospital, and my wife was about to be wheeled into the theater. The doctor told me why. He said, if we don't take out this baby in the next couple of minutes, we are likely to lose the baby, and God forbid we might even lose the mother. And we started praying, and God took charge. So you must prepare people's minds for the worst case scenario. Not that you just come and say, whether you have money or not, you must buy fuel at 500. Whether you have money or not, the naira will crash, and those who have to travel. A lot of Nigerians travel abroad for business, not just for pleasure. So, but when you remove something from day one, I am telling you, you may not recover from it, because the mind, psychologically, people die. The fear of operation alone, people can die in the process. So when you wake up on the day when people are rejoicing, your supporters are happy that finally you've gotten power, and boom, what you give them is bad news. They may not recover, and we haven't recovered since then. That is my position. So I believe that it was too hastily done, even if it was necessary. Number two is that virtually every of the presidential candidates promised to remove the phantom subsidy, because even that subsidy, nobody understands what it is all about. What we know is that corruption also messed up the issue of subsidy, because I remember during the Jonathan era how much we were spending on the subsidy. Now it has more than quadrupled. Maybe it's almost times 20 of what it used to be. Are we saying that the cars we have on the streets, the vehicles we have on the streets, are suddenly times 20 what we had at that time? I have no answer to that. I'm not a statistician. So, but I believe it could also have been done in phases. You cannot tell. I always like to give the example of our workers. A man is earning 20,000 naira, and suddenly he lives in an official residence where he is paying maybe 5,000 naira every year. Suddenly his oga comes and says, this place where you are living, oh, I am sorry, the company can no longer afford to give it to you at 5,000. It is now 50,000, and your salary is only 20,000. You are going to die. It's either you faint and you will never recover. That's what has happened to Nigeria. Nigerians have fainted. Go on the streets of Lagos, where we used to have very long queues, traffic jams and all that. People hardly can go out. Women who said they voted for Tinubu are crying every day. We see the videos on social media. They are crying. People are bombarding our phones. Sometimes now I'm afraid to pick my calls because I know it's going to be bad news. And when you pick it, somebody's there crying, I've not eaten today. My son is sick. I am dying. And these are family members. These are your own friends. And they don't know that the so-called rich also cry. So you are afraid to pick your calls. But when you pick it, they say, okay, give me anything. But there is no currency called anything. Money is money. And every kobo that goes out is -1. So this is the issue of Nigeria. The government needs to, and then the palliatives that they promised have not been responsibly dealt with. You do not throw money out, throw money around, cash, and say you are going to give some people 5,000, you're going to give some people 25,000 out of, in a country of over 200 million people. So, let's say you give 10 million people, what can that do in their lives? So, the government must think outside the box by ensuring that they can create job opportunities. Government cannot employ everybody, but government can create an enabling environment for people to thrive. Nigerians are among the most brilliant human beings on earth, and we are energetic people. Nigeria is the only place you go around on the streets at night, you see young kids selling recharge cards, selling all sorts at night. But if the enabling environment is not there for their businesses to thrive, then there will be trouble. So instead of government sending that all that money, you have 500, if you have 500 million to disburse today, 500 million. So, and most times you hear billions. Okay, they say 500 billion. Let's do some arithmetic. I've been on a program before, the Entrepreneur Series, which was started by Goke Dokun, a young man at that time. And people will send us their business plans, and we will examine those business plans and determine those who need just 100,000, maybe to start hairdressing salon, or someone who needs 1 million naira to pump into his farming. So let's assume that everybody needs 1 million naira. If you take that 1 million naira to start a farm, it could be a fish pond, it could be a cassava plantation, it could be banana, it could be yam, it could be anything. So let's say 1 million. That 1 million, let's say you employ minimum 10 people, you know, on those farmlands. 500 billion. 1 billion is 1 million in 1,000 places. So now imagine 1,000 places times 500. Imagine how many new millionaire farmers you will create nationwide. I'm just giving this as a very simple example. Instead of giving that money, 15,000 naira, that is not going to change the life of anybody, that 15,000 naira, some illiterates might even use it to go and take additional wives and additional problems and liabilities. Why don't we create? China did not get to where it is today by throwing money around. China got to where it is today because they had a green revolution. Food is the most essential need of man. Food. That's why the Yoruba say, if you remove hunger out of poverty, you have killed poverty. So this, for me, these are ideas, but those in government, they are now the same thing that Buhari did that made it to fail so spectacularly. Is the same thing they are repeating. Throwing money into everything. Everything is money. And giving money to politicians to share. We know them. We know them. We know what politicians do because they don't manage any business.
Tinubu, we'll be making a presentation on that for the National Assembly today. What is your take on the issue of the 2024 budget?
Well, I haven't had time to study it in detail, but I know it has generated a lot of controversy because one would expect that we will tighten our belts with the myriad of problems confronting Nigeria today. You would expect that our government will be very prudent, very frugal. This is the time we need a Mr. Scrooge. I don't know if you read the Christmas Carol by what is that man's name now? The Mr. Scrooge. There is a character in the literary work that escaped me just now. Mr. Scrooge is a man who is very frugal. He cannot spend money on anyone, and he wouldn't spend money on himself. Right now, all that Nigerian government needs to do is to stop spending money on itself. Stop spending too much money on politicians. Spend the money on the people. You are in office to serve the people. You are not in office to live like emperors. That would be my advice. But what we are seeing in that budget is an outlandish spending spree. They are going again on a binge, on a bazaar. And so if government wants people to listen to it, that, oh, the reason you have to buy fuel at so price, you have to buy gas, you have to buy kerosene, you have to buy beans, you have to buy rice at exorbitant prices, is because our economy is bad. But it is not reflecting on the politicians. The only people who are growing bigger and bigger, even me that used to have a bigger belly, you can see, is going flat because we all have to tighten our belts. So the government, if you want to persuade people about anything, I remember Chief M.K. Abiola used to tell us when he sends us to go and do something for him, and we say, sir, this thing is going to be difficult. We say, no. For you to convince someone else, you must first of all convince yourself that it is possible. Then it will be possible. So for government to be able to persuade the people of Nigeria that they must tighten their belt, then the people of Nigeria must see that those who are serving them, because they are supposed to be serving them, but to the contrary, we are the ones serving the politicians. We are the ones paying for their excesses. So let the politicians show some kindness, some responsibility, some restraint, some, and then the people will follow them. A key element of governance is trust. People must trust their government. If they trust their government, they will enter fire. See the way Americans swear by America. God bless God bless America. God bless America. It's the trust. Long live the king in England. Long live the king. If you don't believe in the king, you will not wish the king well. So we want to wish our government well, and we hope that they will show us that they mean well. That's all. Nobody is fighting anybody. Nobody is fighting anybody.